The clock struck midnight in the quiet, dimly lit room where Arjun sat hunched over his desk, his head buried in his hands. The glow of his laptop screen cast long shadows across the walls, highlighting the clutter of half-filled notebooks, discarded coffee cups, and a calendar pinned to the wall with red circles marking past deadlines. But tonight, the deadlines weren't the problem. Tonight, the weight of years wasted bore down on him like a suffocating fog. His hands trembled as he flipped through the pages of his old journal, each scribbled entry a reminder of the plans he had once made with fiery determination. Dreams of starting a business, traveling the world, learning the piano, and writing a book stared back at him, mocking him with their unfulfilled promises. The journal was dated 5 years ago. 5 long years of tomorrow I'll start, and there's still time. 5 years of distractions, Netflix binges, mindless scrolling on his phone, and excuses that seemed so valid in the moment. Arjun had always believed there would be more time. He had believed in the myth of someday. But now, as he looked at the man in the mirror, a man with tired eyes and a hollow ache in his chest, he realized the truth. Time wasn't infinite. It was slipping away with every tick of the clock. He closed his eyes and leaned back in his chair, haunted by the echo of his father's words from years ago. Time is like a river, Arjun. You can't touch the same water twice. Once it flows past, it's gone forever. Back then, he had laughed it off. He was young, after all. He had time. Or so he thought. A sudden gust of wind rattled the windows, snapping him out of his thoughts. The room seemed eerily still, yet the ticking of the wall clock grew louder, almost deafening. Arjun turned toward it, a strange chill crawling down his spine. The clock wasn't moving. The hands were stuck at midnight, the second hand frozen in place. He blinked, rubbing his eyes. Maybe he was overtired. And then it happened. The clock face began to glow. Faintly at first, then brighter until it illuminated the entire room. The light swirled and twisted, forming shapes and patterns that seemed almost alive. Before Arjun could react, a figure stepped out from the glowing clock. It was cloaked in silver, with an hourglass in one hand and a staff in the other. Its face was obscured, but its presence radiated an ancient, commanding energy. "Who? What are you?" Arjun stammered, his voice barely above a whisper. "I am the keeper of time," the figure replied, its voice resonating like the chime of a bell. "I am here because you have squandered what is most precious. Do you even realize what you've lost?" Arjun's heart raced. I know I've wasted time, but I can change. I still have time left, don't I?" The keeper tilted its head, as if considering his words. "Do you truly understand the value of a single moment? Of a single hour? You humans take time for granted, thinking it will always be there, waiting for you. But time waits for no one." With a wave of its staff, the room transformed. Arjun found himself standing in a bustling city square, surrounded by people of all ages. The keeper gestured toward a young boy playing with a paper plane. "That boy has dreams of becoming a pilot," the keeper said, "but he will grow up distracted, spending hours on meaningless pursuits. By the time he realizes his dream, it will be too late." The scene shifted to a middle-aged man sitting alone on a park bench, staring at his phone. "He had a family who loved him," the keeper continued. "But he was too busy to notice. Too busy with work, with screens, with trivial things. Now he has all the time in the world, but no one to share it with." Arjun's chest tightened as the scenes kept changing. An artist who never picked up a brush again. A woman who gave up on her passion for music. A man who waited too long to apologize to his estranged father. Each one a story of regret, of time wasted and opportunities lost. "Stop," Arjun cried, tears streaming down his face. "I get it. I understand now. Please, tell me it's not too late for me." The keeper turned to him, its hourglass glowing softly. "Time is not your enemy, Arjun. Your own choices are. You cannot change the past, but you can shape the future. The question is, will you?" Before Arjun could answer, the keeper raised its staff and struck it against the ground. The glowing light enveloped him once more, and he found himself back in his room. The clock on the wall was ticking again, the hands moving steadily forward. The faint scent of burning wood lingered in the air, the only evidence that the keeper had been real. Arjun sat in silence for a long moment, his mind racing. And then he picked up his journal, flipping to the last blank page. He wrote down every dream, every goal he had once abandoned, his hand moving with a sense of urgency he had never felt before. The next morning, he woke up early for the first time in years. He went for a run, something he had been meaning to do forever. He spent the afternoon working on his business plan, reaching out to mentors for advice. That evening, he dusted off the old keyboard in the corner of his room and began teaching himself the first notes of a song. Day by day, Arjun chipped away at his goals, refusing to let distractions steal his time. Whenever he felt tempted to procrastinate, he would glance at the clock on his wall, its steady ticking a reminder of the lesson the keeper had taught him. Because time, he realized, was not just a resource. It was life itself, and he was done wasting it.